Welcome to CCN News. I am your host, Captivating Christian, and it seems like Mitch McConnell doesn't have the votes to dismiss an impeachment articles or block witnesses. And also, Kentucky miners block the coal train over missing paychecks. The Supreme Court showdown over birth control. Burisma, U.S. firm says Russia hacked company at the heart of the Trump impeachment. And in entertainment news, Lori Harvey faces a year in prison as she is charged with 2 misdemeanors in a hit-and-run case. Also in entertainment news, Will Smith admits that he was deeply insecure about Jada Pinkett and Tupac's relationship. And let's get to the news. And it looks like Mitch McConnell will not have the votes to dismiss impeachment articles or block witnesses. As the Senate Majority Leader, Mitch McConnell, a Republican senator from Kentucky, promised total coordination with the White House for President Donald Trump's impeachment trial may have backfired. According to several sources on Monday, not only is Mitch McConnell short of the 51 votes required to promptly dismiss the articles of impeachment per Trump's tweeted desires, he may also be forced to hear testimony from former Trump administration officials. Mitch McConnell has made it clear to his colleagues that he wanted Trump to emerge victorious in the trial and is not willing to hold a vote that could fail. He is also keenly aware of what the vote of dismissal would look like politically, according to Republican senators, and has shepherded his conference away from the idea for several weeks now. Similarly frustrating to McConnell's strategy is at least 4 Republican senators who are opposed to vote in favor of calling witnesses after the trial begins. The Republican Senator Lisa Murkowski from Alaska, Susan Collins of Maine, Mitt Romney of Utah, and Cory Gardner of Colorado, all expected to join the Democrats in demanding witness testimony. Senator Ron Paul of Kentucky and Lamar Alexander of Tennessee are reported to be viewed as wild cards and could vote either way. Other news: Kentucky miners block coal train over missing paychecks. Some Kentucky coal miners and their families stood on the tracks Monday to prevent a train loaded with coal from leaving, saying that they had worked since December 16th without being paid. The tracks led from Quest Energy in Pike County. One of the coal miners blocking the train from exiting said, "I don't know what else to do but try to stop this train from taking our coal out of here. If they want to pay us for our work, then I'll let the train go." This is what one coal miner had said to the news reporter. "But if not, we're going to stand here, right here. I'll stand here for every coal miner that's ever been beat out of anything. It just isn't right." Ken Collins, who operates the shuttle car at the underground mining site, said that his power was cut off on Monday and he is owed more than $3,000. The American Resource Corporation, who owns Energy Quest, released a statement in regards to the miners not getting paid. Some of the employees, and I quote, "Some of the employees are behind 8 days and some 1 day on their pay, and they will all be paid as we don't take this lightly. They have been paid since the 16th of December, so we are not sure where that number is coming from. We do not work men 17 hours as stated. We work a very normal mining schedule, and we value the employees greatly for their work and their future work." Miners last summer in Harlan County had a similar protest when Black Jewel filed for bankruptcy. The miners eventually were given a deal to be paid and let the train pass. And in other news, the coming Supreme Court shutdown over birth control. As soon as Friday, the Supreme Court could announce that it will hear the cases of Trump versus Pennsylvania and the Little Sisters of the Poor, St. Peter's, and Paul's Home versus Pennsylvania. The two consolidated cases examining the Trump administration rules allowing virtually any employer to deny birth control coverage to its employees. The cases reignite a legal conflict over the right for employers who object to contraception on religious grounds. This conflict raged throughout much of the Obama administration, then briefly simmered down after Justice Anthony Scalia's death temporarily stripped conservative of the Supreme Court majority they needed to expand the right of religious employers. The core question in the Pennsylvania cases, however, is not whether the Constitution gives such religious objections a right to deny contraceptive coverage to their employees, but rather whether the Trump administration, acted promptly when it wrote a sweeping examination into regulation requiring the employers to include birth control coverage in the employee's health plan. The Trump administration rules permit many employers to ignore the requirements to provide birth control coverage to their employees if the employer expresses a religious or a moral objection to contraception. A federal appeals court struck down these rules. It is likely, though that not certain, that the court will agree to hear the Pennsylvania cases, but not even if it doesn't, a Supreme Court shutdown on birth control is all but inevitable. Not long after Scalia's death, the court's three most conservative justices complained that they had a lack of votes to hear the cases brought by the pharmacy owners who objected to birth control on religious grounds. With two Trump judges now on the Supreme Court, the court's right flank almost certainly has the votes it needs not to just take up such cases, but to win. Also from our top stories, Burisma, a U.S. firm, says that Russia hacked the company at the heart of the impeachment inquiry. The Ukrainian gas company at the center of President Donald Trump's impeachment was successfully hacked by the Russian military agents in November. Area 1 Security says that it was not clear what the hackers were searching for when they hacked Burisma's holdings. Democratic presidential contender Joe Biden's son Hunter Biden was previously on the board of the firm. Burisma, the U.S. government, and Russia military of defense are not yet to respond. Area 1 leaked the hack. President Donald Trump was impeached in December over allegations that he impromptu pressured Ukraine leader Zelensky to launch an investigation into Burisma and its links to the Bidens. The security firm also drew parallels between November's hack and another that was carried out against Democrats in 2016 before the U.S. presidential election. Why is Burisma important? Burisma is the Ukraine's energy firm at the heart of the impeachment process against President Donald Trump. In a phone call back in July of 2019, President Donald Trump pushed for Ukraine's President Zelensky to announce an investigation into Burisma and the Bidens. Especially, Mr. Trump wanted Kiev to look into debunking theories that Joe Biden had previously tried to squash a probe of Burisma in order to protect his son. President Trump is now due to stand trial in the Senate on 2 articles of impeachment, an abuse of power and obstruction of Congress. He denies any wrongdoing. And in some entertainment news, it looks like Lori Harvey, daughter of or stepdaughter of Steve Harvey, faces a year in prison with two misdemeanor charges in a hit and run. Steve Harvey's stepdaughter was arrested in October after allegedly hitting a parked car and attempting to flee the scene. Lori Harvey is facing the potential of 1 year in prison sentence following her hit and run arrest back in October. The stepdaughter of the Family Feud star host Steve Harvey was charged with 2 misdemeanors, including 1 count of resisting, delaying, and obstructing a peace officer, and 1 count of a hit and run resulting in property damage in relation to the incident. A spokesperson for the Los Angeles County District Attorney's Office confirmed. An arraignment for the 23-year-old has been set for January 21st, according to the city's attorney's office spokesperson. Lori could face up to a year in prison for the misdemeanor. A representative for Lori did not immediately respond to requests for comment. A lawyer for the star could not be immediately identified by this reported source. Lori Harvey was arrested on October 20th after allegedly hitting a parked car vehicle and attempting to flee the scene. Authorities previously told reporters that the model car was found on its side next to a parked vehicle that she had hit. What? In the last bit of entertainment news, Will Smith admits that he was deeply insecure about Jada Pinkett and Tupac's relationship. While promoting his new movie Bad Boys for Life with Martin Lawrence on The Breakfast Club on Monday, the actor admitted that he felt deeply insecure about how close of a bond the late rapper icon and his wife Jada Pinkett Smith had. However, he regrets not trying to foster a friendship with Tupac. He said, and I quote, that was a big regret for me too, because I could never open up to interact with Pac," Will Smith said. Jada Pinkett and Tupac met in high school at the Baltimore School for the Arts in Maryland and became close friends before she met Will. And that's the question I posed to the group. Is it okay to have opposite sex relationships and friendships? Do you think there's some sort of threat to the actual relationship that you may have if you have a close friend of the opposite sex? It's a good question to leave your comments in the box below. I would like to hear your thoughts on that. Also like to hear your thoughts on Lori Harvey and her hit and run. I'm thinking personally she must have been a little suited and booted out of her mind to have the car on its side. That's a bit crazy. But this and other stories, please leave your comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe. And as always, be the change that you want to see. Be blessed and have a blessed day. And thank you for watching CCN. I am your host once again, Captivating Christian. Peace.